Thank you for joining us on our podcast today. I'm David Anthony.
I'm Tony Brown.
Hey, we're here on Escape Pod, and we are broadcasting today from OMG Con.
Yay.
It's awesome.
It is.
We have seen a lot of stuff, Tony.
I saw a real life dragon. Probably not real life, but I felt like it was.
Did you train it?
No.
You should have. It was how you to train your dragon.
Well, somebody got to ride it.
Yeah. Who we got here with us today?
Hi, I'm Erika Harlacher. I'm a voice actor.
Erika, thank you so much for joining us on our podcast.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Well, we appreciate it, and I know you're very busy with a lot of panels and a lot of discussions and autograph sessions and things like that.
It's been a whirlwind. I'm like jet lagged, so I'm like, whoa, it's a blur, but it's been fun.
Great, and you're actually here tomorrow some too, right?
Yes, I'm here in the early morning for an autograph session, and then I immediately go to the airport, fly home.
And then you're home.
Yeah, I don't know why they have me flying home so early. I usually stay until later on Sunday, but whatever. Now I'll be home in time to do auditions at home instead of under my blanket in the hotel room like a crazy person.
Oh, that's funny.
Do you have a convention season, or do you just do it year round whenever something pops up?
I do them year round, but there's definitely a season where I'm busier, which is in the summer.
Right.
So last weekend I was at a different convention, Colossal Con in Ohio, and then I should have just stayed up there because then that was right above Kentucky, and it was at the Kalahari Resort, which is an indoor water park. So I could have been on vacation for a week, but
nice.
Whatever. And then definitely in summer it's really busy. Anime Expo's coming up, and then I have one in Virginia coming up in August, and then they taper out a little bit, so I have a little more space in between, so I don't die of exhaustion.
Now, was that something that you in the career that you're in voice acting, was that something that you even thought about when you were doing you just want to get your first gig at first?
Yeah, I didn't even think about conventions. I used to watch panels of some of my favorite voice actors on YouTube, and I was always they're so funny and cool, but I never thought about me being up there because I was I'm not funny or cool.
So you're pretty awesome.
Thank you. So I was no, it wasn't even something I thought about at all, and I never even really expected to get fans or anything, because I was just doing it for fun. So I didn't really have high expectations of being these big characters that people actually care about.
And there's a lot of people here that really do.
Yeah, I've had people telling me that they drove from so far away just to see me, and I'm like, wow, that's so cool. Oh my gosh, it's so surreal to me still. It's I'm geeking out over the people I'm on a panel with still, Greg Ayers. I'm he was nice to meet you, and I was actually I met you when I was just a fan and I was in an autograph line, and I was
cool.
I want to be a voice actor someday, and he was oh, that's cool, and now I was on his panel.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So yeah, now that I'm here, I'm oh yeah, I mean conventions have become such a thing that I should have kind of expected, if I wanted to be a voice actor, that they would eventually hopefully start coming up, but yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to act.
Awesome. So you started all this with you wanting to be an actress, then?
Yes.
Okay. And from what age did you start wanting to be an actress?
I have acted ever since I can remember. I was in my very first school play in kindergarten. I was 5 years old,
nice.
And I was the big bad wolf in the Three Little Pigs. And I very vividly remember the part where the big bad wolf dies, but it's a kindergarten play. So at the time, they weren't you die. They were just okay, now you go hide in the chimney until the play's over. And I was okay. So I had to howl. I was ow, and I ran and hid in the chimney. And I remember crouching in the chimney and being man, this is really fun. This is cool. I like being on stage. It was really cool. And then so from then on, I just wanted to act. And so in my first grade year, we were doing Jack and the Beanstalk, and I wanted to be Jack because he was the main character. I just wanted to be him because he was the main character. And so the teacher was Erika, I know you really want to be Jack, but you were the big bad wolf last year, so we need the other kids to have a chance too. No. So she made me part of the Beanstalk. And nowadays I'm was it just because you wanted to make a boy Jack? Because come on. So I had like one line. I remember I was really grumpy about it, and I like said my one narration line and then sat down for the rest of the play because I was like so upset. I was like, I am a great actress. I should be in the lead role.
That's so cute.
Yeah, and then so I never really thought of it as a job though. I was just doing it for fun, and I didn't even really like. I wasn't specifically going for plays or anything. Like I did the speech team in high school, and that was like, you know, competitive acting basically, but I didn't really think about it like that. I just thought of it as speech. That was like an activity that I did, and it didn't really turn into a thing that might eventually be my career until college, when I took my first voice acting class, and Tony Oliver, the teacher, was like, hey, you should switch your major because like you could actually have a career in this. And I was like, I could? Oh, well what do you know? Okay. So I switched my career or I switched my major and decided to actually try making it a job.
Well, that was some good advice then.
Yes,
apparently.
yeah. I know. I'm so glad that like I did that class. I just did it for fun because I actually told my mom I wanted to be a voice actor when I was 10, just in passing, because I saw an interview with Christy Carlson Romano on the Disney Channel, and she played Kim Possible, and she was saying that she liked being a voice actor because she could go to work in her pajamas. And so I was like, well, I want to work in my pajamas. So I told my mom I was going to be a voice actor, and she was like, that's not real. And I was like, oh, okay. It's not a real job. Okay. And then I forgot about it. So for like 5 seconds when I was 10, I was like, I'm going to be a voice actor. And then
there you go. That's what started it all, right?
Yeah.
Down the path.
Yeah,
The seed.
exactly. So then when I saw the Adventures in Voice Acting advertised at Anime Expo, I was like, oh, yeah, that was a thing that I feel like I at one point thought might be something I wanted to do. So sure, that sounds fun. I don't know. I'll try. And then, yeah, the good thing I did. Yes, I guess it was meant to be.
I think so.
Yeah.
So did you get lucky enough to go right into something you wanted to do, or did you get stuck doing like a horrible local car dealer commercial or something?
Well, I kind of got lucky. I was taking those classes, so I took that one class, and then I switched my major, and then I took another class with Tony like a year later, and he remembered me, and I was like, yay. And he was like, all right, yeah, keep going, you're like really good, and blah. And I was like, okay. So I found out that Bang Zoom Entertainment had like internships for like production and audio and stuff like that. So there weren't like acting internships, but it was a good way to like, I felt like it was a good way to kind of get noticed and get my foot in the door. And I was also kind of interested in production too. I was like, that might be a fun fallback thing if acting doesn't work out.
Right, see where it all how it works too.
Yeah,
from the side.
yes, which is actually super helpful now. I'm like so glad that I did that because it's really it helps me a lot. I feel like to know what they're thinking on the other side.
Cool.
So I applied for the internship and then forgot about it, and then I got really sick in college and was like hospitalized, and I had to drop out for a quarter.
Aww.
So I was like, oh no, this is the worst thing ever, you know,
right.
Existential crisis. My life is over. And then right when I started getting better, like I was still not able to really go to school, but I was well enough that I could like go out and do things. I got an email from Bang Zoom, and they were like, hey, we really like your resume, but we need someone who can start earlier than you said you could, because I said I couldn't start until school got out in the summer.
Right.
And so it was like a month before that at this point. So I jumped out of bed and I like ran to my computer. I was like, wait, things have changed and I can actually come in now. And I was taking only one class still, and it was on Mondays and Wednesdays. So I didn't tell them that. I was just like, oh yes, I can actually do that. So I sent the email, and then I got one back like a couple minutes later, and they were like, okay, we're looking for someone who can come in on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And I was like,
wow.
Oh my God, yeah, like those are the exact days I can do. It's like destiny.
There you go. It sounds like it.
Yeah, so then I went in for my interview like, 2 days later, and then I got the internship, and then I ended up getting hired on in production. And so they really helped me. They knew I wanted to be an actor because I was in a theater major in college. So they asked me in the interview, they were like, do you want to be a voice actress? And I was like, yeah, yes, please. That sounds cool. So they were like, okay, we'll like let you sit in on sessions, and like see what the audition process is like and all that kind of stuff. So they really like put faith in me, and like they saw how hard I was working because I was still taking classes, and like they would put me in for Wallace sessions, just like background like crowds in a restaurant or whatever, and I'd just say like, oh, this food looks good. And so eventually they started being like, oh, she's getting better and better. And then so they started giving me real auditions. And so I never really had to do any like, just like silly, like dumb, nobody's ever gonna hear this jobs before I started getting into anime, just because I happened to have that door opened for me, which was really awesome and like definitely not typical. It's like I didn't take a regular path, and it all just kind of fell into place very nicely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was cool. I'm very lucky.
So what was your, I guess, like your from voice acting, but I guess games, or is it anime that's more that you do more now?
I actually had a conversation with one of the people in production at Bang Zoom shortly after I left production to really pursue acting, because it got to the point where I was getting cast in more things, and I was also trying to go to school again and then doing production 8 hours a day, and it was just impossible. So I left production, and I was like, I hope this is the right choice. And so I was talking to one of my friends in production, and she was like, it's so interesting because a lot of times there are actors who are very like suited for anime, and then there are actors who are very suited for games, but you get cast in like an equal amount. It seems like you have a voice that can do both, which is like really cool. And I was like, oh, that's such a nice compliment, because I want to do both, so yay. And I want to do like American animation, all that stuff. I don't want to be pigeonholed into one area, because I want to do it all. So I feel like I do kind of an equal amount, probably like just less games, because there are less games than there are anime. There's like 100 new anime every season or whatever. It's a crazy amount. So we don't dub them all, but a lot of them do get dubbed. But I feel like ratio-wise, it's probably like very even, which is really cool. A lot of people don't get to do that, and I really like both of them for different reasons. So I'm glad that I get to do both.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. But have you done actual? What's the word I'm looking for? Actual visual acting, I guess.
In college, I did, stage theater, and I really like musicals. I did a few musicals.
Nice.
Yeah, and if I ever did go back to like live theater, I would want to do musicals, and I've kind of looked into that. But I just don't have time for like the rehearsal process, because I'm working so much in voiceover, and they don't. Live theater doesn't really pay very well unless you're like Broadway. Yeah. So, and I have no interest in like moving to New York and being in Broadway. It's just like I want to do some musicals for fun,
Well, sure.
But I still need to pay the bills. I can't put off voice acting just to sing on stage for a little while.
Maybe someday you'll be there where you can.
Yeah. So I haven't really done any live theater since college. And I thought about doing on-camera stuff, but I've never really had like a great body image of myself. So I've always been like, I look weird on camera, like I feel like I don't look engaged on camera. So I was like, I'll just have someone animate a very engaged person, and then I'll like be their voice, and that's good. So, but every once in a while I think about maybe trying. I've never really tried to get into on camera stuff, and I do think that would be really fun. And I've talked to some like Disney casting directors who are like, it helps if you're in live action stuff to get on like Disney animated stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was like, well, okay, maybe I should look into that more, because I do want to be, on their stuff someday. It's like,
well, I mean, you're a beautiful woman.
Oh, thank you.
And you have a great personality.
Thank you. I don't know. I feel like, because I had to do on-camera stuff in college too, for like, we took like some film acting classes. And I was always like, whenever I was one of the actors, I was like, oh, I don't know, it looks weird. I feel like I'm very aware that there's a camera. So I'm like, oh, yes, we should go to the store. There's a camera over there. Okay. So yeah, I feel like I look very robotic and like a robot. So I would definitely have to take classes for on-camera stuff.
Well, classes so far have worked out pretty good for
they
you.
They have. And again, I might look into it more, especially like next year, because I've officially, I had to put off college a lot because I was sick and then I was working. So I've officially turned in my final paper as of last week.
Wow. Congratulations.
So, thank you. So now I won't have to like worry about school anymore. So like now I'll be able to really buckle down and be like, okay, like, do I want to do on-camera stuff too, or do I want to just keep going with only voice for now? And and I also want to like write cartoons and stuff like that. So I have like some stuff I want to pitch and really
that's great.
Yeah. So I have stuff that I want to figure out, and we'll see.
Well,
Maybe
it's good that you've got a lot of creativity.
Yeah. I have like too many things that I want to do. So I'll like start on it and be like, yes, this is going to be amazing. And then I'll be like, all right, I'm bored with that. Now I'm going to go here and start writing a novel. And I'm like, oh, okay, I have a rough draft. That's fine. I'll sit there for a while. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm going to go over here and draw a comic. I'm going to be amazing. And then, I get like one page done and I'm like, all right, that's fine. So.
Well, and there's a lot of people out there that are still trying to figure out what they want to do and what they want to try and get to. And they just kind of settle. And you, have a lot of passion to go to a lot of different directions.
Thank you.
And that's great.
Yeah. That's how I've always been. Even as a kid, like I couldn't figure out which extracurricular activities I wanted to do. So I was always in like a bunch at the same time, like horseback riding and piano and diving and gymnastics and mock trial and speech and like all these things all at once. My mom would always make me choose like every year and be like, all right, pick like 3, 3 maximum. And I was like, oh man. So yeah, that's just always how I've been. I like doing a lot of different things, but I am glad that I've chosen voice acting to be like the thing I mainly focus on, and I think that's been really important to choose one thing to like put above everything else. Yeah, because otherwise I become like good at a bunch of different things, but I don't become great at one thing. And that's how I always felt when I was growing up. I was like, all right, I'm passable at all these things I've tried, but I'm not like, the top of any of them. So. Well,
you're getting the top of voice acting. So.
Thank you.
So what did you, I guess, so what's some of the earlier works that you've done that got you started? What roles?
Some of the earliest things I did were I was like background characters in K-On! And Madoka Magica or Magica. I don't know how you say it. One of those where I used to call it Magica, but then like the director kept calling it Magica, and I was like, oh, maybe I've been saying it wrong for all these years. I don't know.
You might know a little bit, right?
Yeah. So I got like little background characters in those things. And K-On! Was the first thing I like heard myself in, and I like freaked out. I was like, I sound like an imposter. And then now I'm used to hearing myself, so I'm like, all right, I sound fine. Like
It's gotta be cool though, right?
It's really cool now, but at the time I felt like everyone else sounded like they were meant to fit into like this anime world, and then I was just like obviously like a normal person just being like, I am speaking, and then they drew a character over me that doesn't look like me, and I was like, oh, it's weird, it doesn't look right.
That's funny.
So yeah, so those are some of the first things. One of my very first video games was it was that movie Battleship.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so which is based on the game Battleship. So this was a game based on the movie based on the game Battleship. And so like no one knew about it or played it or anything. It was it was an experience. I had fun recording it, and like I bought it and played it. I never finished it because I got really mad at myself because I was the character that kept telling me what to do. And so eventually there was like this one really hard mission, and my character kept being like, shoot them, they're on the beach. I was like, I know, I'm trying. I like threw the controller. I was like, I give up, I can't do it.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so those are some of my like earliest things. And then like Atelier Aisha, I got the lead character Aisha. It's a video game, and I got that the week, like a few days after I quit production, and like so that was like another sign that I had made the right choice.
Oh yeah,
because I wouldn't have been able to record. It was like 18 hours of recording, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if I had stayed
What game
in production.
was that on?
Atelier Aisha.
Okay,
it's like a JRPG game.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I was like, oh, okay, it's a sign. I did the right thing. Phew.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so you're working your way up the food chain, as it were.
Yeah.
I noticed that you have a credit on Killer Instinct.
Yes.
That is an awesome game. What character do you voice on that one?
I play Sadira, the like Spider Queen lady,
Nice.
who only speaks Thai, and I don't speak Thai. So
How does that work?
I had to learn how to say the Thai phrases that she says in like a 24-hour period, and they sent me like a few like voice references, well, not voice references, like Thai references of some lady saying some Thai sentences, but she didn't say all the lines I had to say. So I had to like go through and be like, okay, so she said this word like this, so then probably I would say this word that I have to say similarly, so it's kind of like this. So
Wow.
so I kind of like figured it out. I like researched on YouTube, like watching people speak Thai and like kind of figuring out how I should say things, and then I went into the session. And I said like my first line. I was like, "Did that sound Thai?" And the clients were like, "Yeah, sounds Thai to me. Sure." I was like, "Okay, that's good enough for me." So funny. Yeah, so that was a really fun experience. And then I immediately forgot how to say everything as soon as I walked out of the booth at the end. It was like,
Right.
Yeah. So whenever anyone asks me to say anything from that game at conventions, I'm like,
Sorry.
I can say it in American for you.
yeah, I rewatched like her introduction scene where she comes in at the beginning of the fight, and so I relearned that one line. So in case people ask, I can just say one line in Thai, and
what is it?
It's Yindi ton rap sueb kong chan, and so
excellent.
Thank you. So I think that's right. I like listened to myself and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's what I said.
When I go home tonight, we'll play it again.
Yes.
I'll match them up.
Yes. And people are like, what does that mean? And I'm like, I don't. It's something about welcome to my web, maybe, because I think that's the subtitle that's under it. We had translations while I was recording, but I don't remember.
Wow, I just can't imagine having to be an English actress.
Yeah.
Doing a different language for an English game.
Yeah.
Wow.
I laughed really hard when I came out of the audition for it, because I went into the studio to audition, and that was at Bang Zoom too. So like I know everyone really well there. So I came out of the booth after auditioning, and I went into the production studio, and I was just laughing, and I was like, why did you guys give me this? Like, I don't speak Thai. I don't speak anything even close to Thai. I'm like, like a little white California girl. Like, I don't know. And then I laughed extra hard when I got the email saying I got cast. I was like, really? Okay.
Yes.
So it's all right. People seem to like it, so that's good.
That's funny.
Yeah. People are always like, it sounds passable to me. Sounds good to me. And I'm like, well,
there you go. You made them happy.
good.
That's all that matters.
I feel like someone who actually speaks Thai will be like, no, it's completely wrong.
Inflection, all wrong.
Right? Exactly.
So you never have a voice coach or anything that comes along with the audition? They just basically say, hey, hopefully you can figure this out?
Yeah, usually they, if it's like something that Japan did first, so if we're dubbing an anime, or if it's like a JRPG, so like they have voice references from Japan, then sometimes they'll send us those so we can like listen to what the Japanese voice actress sounded like. But a lot of times they don't really want us to match them. It's just kind of so we can understand their like inflections and like what the character's like and stuff like that.
Right, for mouth syncs and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
But then a lot of times they don't send us anything like that. They're just like, okay, go, here's a description and come up with something. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, it's a lot of imagination and kind of like, that's why I'm glad I did some production work, because I kind of know how that side thinks now. So I kind of I used to play a game when I was in production of being like, I'm gonna guess who's gonna get cast. So I feel like I kind of know for certain characters like what kind of voices they're gonna be looking for, because I got a lot better at guessing who was gonna get cast just based on like which voices I would hear. I was like, oh yeah, I think they'll choose this because they really like this type of inflection and stuff like that.
Nice.
So yeah.
Well, that's very beneficial for you too. Especially if you ever decide to fall back on that, right?
Yeah, and I love production. It's really fun. So yeah, if I ever decide like I'm done with acting, that's another reason why I had to get my degree and finish it, because even though I've worked in production, like nobody will even look at me if I don't have a degree.
Well, I know a lot of your fans that hope you'd never make that decision.
Yes.
That you keep doing what you're doing.
I
you
hope
really
I
enjoy
never
your work.
have to do that either, because I love acting too much. I feel like I've thought about it before, and I was like, I'd be too sad.
Oh.
I just love acting.
Now some video games, I know like that one's probably wasn't a good example of, but I mean other video games is like you have to do like one line, but like a lot of different ways,
Yes.
depending on what the how the person who's playing, what they do in the game, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's a lot of times for like when I'm playing like a soldier character, that'll happen a lot of times. It'll be like, it's over here, and then like it's over here. Like depending on what's going on in the game, and yeah, a lot of times they'll just, for video games especially, they don't give us context, so they just give us a block of lines.
Wow.
And we just go through one at a time. Hopefully, if they're not just like call out lines, the director will be good and explain to me what the heck is going on. And yeah, we'll just go through. I'll usually do like 3 takes of a line, and then if I hear a beep, that means good job, go to the next line. And if they come in and be like, oh, hold on, we want you to do one more take of that line, then I do that line again. So yeah, it goes really quick in video games, and yeah, I'm used to just doing 3 takes in a row now for them. So I just, if they want to use multiple, inflections, they just already have them.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That makes it really
That was so not how I thought that process went.
Oh yeah, video games are super fast. Like, for instance, when we're dubbing anime, I think the average lines per hour is like 25 to 30, I think, usually. Whereas for video games, I usually do like 125 to 30 an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's just like boom, 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 going straight through. And again, like we don't see the rest of the script usually. It's just our lines.
So you're not interacting with other voice actors at all? Just you in a booth by
just
yourself?
Us, yeah. So
that must be really hard.
Yeah, so when you think about that, it's even more impressive when you like see a really good scene in a video game and you're like, man, they weren't even like in there interacting with each other. Unless it's like mocap, then they're like, actually acting it out together. But
unless you're at home in your pajamas recording it.
Yes, which is the dream, obviously. But yeah. So we do it by ourselves usually. The only things I've been in the studio with other actors for is American animation. So for like some kids shows that I've been working on recently, which are not out yet, so I don't think I can say what they are.
That's totally fine.
I don't know the rules about kids shows. Might as well be safe.
We definitely don't want you to get any kind of trouble at all. But we just know that there's some good things coming forward for you, and that's great.
Yeah.
And they can always check your IMDb page.
Yes.
That's what we did. It has a great listing of all the work that you've done so far.
Yes, I don't know who updates all those things. They just suddenly appear, and I'm like, oh, cool.
That's nice.
All my stuff is on there now. Someone made a Wikipedia page for me recently, and it was like very detailed, and I was like, whoa.
Is it accurate though?
It is very accurate. It's
very
like,
accurate.
Yeah, like they had information from like when I was in high school. Because I was on like a dive team in high school, so I was in the local newspaper a few times for like that and for like mock trial and stuff like that. So they like found those. They like must have searched my name and found every single thing that I've ever been in. So they had like, oh, she was on the dive team and she was in the paper on this one date. And I was like, wow, you're a very dedicated fan. My dad thought it was like the coolest thing, and my mom was like, "Oh my god, this is terrifying."
Stalkers are bound,
right? Yeah,
kind of creepy.
Yeah. So I mean, hey, I didn't want to do it, so at least it's accurate. That's good enough for me. And now it seems really legitimate because it has a lot of information. But my boyfriend, who I've been with for almost 5 years, and he's an animator in the industry.
Nice.
Yeah, he wasn't mentioned at all, but my sister and my mom's 2 dogs were mentioned. So he was like, what the heck? Why was I not mentioned? And I was like, well, because I usually don't talk about you because you're really shy. So, like, I don't really tweet about you or anything. And he's like, well, maybe you should tweet about me some more now. I want to be on the Wikipedia page. And I was like, okay.
You just hope it's not like a really diehard fan that's like, it's like a male fan that's like, he doesn't exist.
Well, that's why I don't talk about him, because I've actually heard that advice from like females in the industry being like, I don't really talk about my boyfriend or husband because there are some, fans who they get a little jealous for some reason.
Yeah. And that sounds it can sound bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's like, and maybe a little bit of a different point, but like we're being here at the con and there's a lot of great costumes. I mean, you're even dressed up, because you like it, you enjoy it, and, but there's, we take a lot of pictures for our website and for our podcast and stuff like that. And for our YouTube page. And there's a few that are like, can we take your picture? Because we're a unique costume. And they're like, oh yeah, just give me a second. And they'll set their stuff down and then they'll strike this wild pose. And you're like, whoa. And they're like, you ready? And they're like, yes, take it now. Okay, click. There was one lady that was like, well, I said, well, can you smile? And she goes, well, not in this pose. I was like, okay. And she goes, would you like me to show you my, I could go in my winning pose. It's like, okay. And she did, flipped around and smiled. And I was like, click.
Oh
okay,
my gosh.
cool. So she was really into it. So.
I'm so impressed. That's like part of the reason I've never been brave enough to cosplay, because I'm like, I'm bad at posing for pictures other than like smile and peace sign. So it's like, yeah, they get really into character. I'm always very impressed. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but, there's nothing wrong with you even if you just dress up and have fun.
That's true.
You don't necessarily have to get into it that much.
That's what I'm doing my first cosplay at Anime Expo this year.
Very cool.
My character from Hunter x Hunter, Kurapika.
So you're gonna is it a character you voiced?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
That's cool.
And he's a boy. He's a 17-year-old boy. So I felt like he would be really fun to cosplay.
That is cool.
Yeah. So a friend of mine who cosplays is like making the outfit for me, and
So your fans are gonna go nuts.
well,
Absolutely
if they know who I am, I don't know, because they might just think I'm a cosplayer.
Now,
but
can you do a line in that voice?
like right now?
Yeah. Is that hard to do? I don't want to put you on the spot.
I mean, it's just kind of down here, and it's supposed to sound very androgynous because he's a very androgynous boy.
I was really surprised when they cast like me as that, because usually girls only play up to like, maybe 14-year-olds if they're playing voice. But yeah, he's 17 and he ends up 19 by the end of the anime, but he's played by a woman the whole time. So
That's cool though. That's
yeah, it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. I feel like I'm not going to probably play a basically adult man again.
Well, that sounded good.
Thank you.
So.
It's on Toonami, so you can watch on Saturday nights.
There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. So you're pretty big in social media.
Yes.
As we noticed, is finding your Twitter with they have a huge dragon down in the lobby for How to Train Your Dragon. Toothless, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a great picture that you posted
you.
of you on the dragon.
Yes, with a sword. They gave me
that
a
thing
sword.
is huge.
I know, it's like life size.
Life size,
That's why I was like, can I ride the dragon? And they were like, yes. I was like, okay. It was awesome. I try to be really interactive on Twitter. So like, because I'm like still like so amazed that people like what I'm doing and like care about I've been working really hard, so I feel like whenever anyone shows me any appreciation, I'm like so appreciative right back. So I try to be really responsive on Twitter and like talk to all my fans on there as much as I can. I'm getting like more and more followers, so it's getting a little harder, but I still try to do that. And it's like less than 140 characters, so it's a little easier to like have quick conversations with them. And then on Facebook, like my fan page, I like post like big announcements and stuff like that. I'm a lot worse at Facebook. Twitter's like super easy for me. I just have it on my phone and I'm like, la la la, less than 140 characters. Here's me on a dragon. So that's like way easier. And then those are the only two social media things I have right now because I am technologically challenged. Okay. And everyone's always like, why don't you have an Instagram? Why don't you have a Tumblr? Why don't you have a Snapchat? I'm like, because Twitter's hard enough. I don't know. I just got the groove of Twitter going. Like, I feel like if I start having more things, I'll be very confused again. Like when I first got Twitter, I was like, what is this? How do I tweet?
So what's your Twitter handle?
At Erika Harlacher. Very easy, just my name.
There you go. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you've got to make fans' day then when you actually tweet them back. So I'm sure they show everybody. Look,
yeah, they always seem really excited when I talk to them, and a lot of times I'll just be like having a conversation with them, and then in the middle of it they'll be like, I just realized I'm having a conversation with like one of my favorite voice actors, and I'm like, oh yeah, hey, thank you, that's really nice.
That is nice.
Yeah, but like let's go back to our Kingdom Hearts conversation because it was very important. But yeah, I really like interacting with people. I've never, had a bad fan interaction, and they're all super nice and appreciative, and I just want to show my appreciation right back to them because, again, like I wouldn't be able to like go to conventions and like do all these fun things without them. So
well, it seems like the demand is there for you, and hopefully it'll continue to grow.
I hope so. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And what's your Facebook?
My Facebook is Erika Harlacher, voice actress. I think it's voice actress and not voice actor. Pretty sure. Yeah. Again, I'm a lot worse at Facebook.
That's
so,
okay. We're going to have all your links on our webpage and stuff
Awesome.
too as well. And it'll be in the show notes
Yay.
and also on the description
Okay,
in
good.
our YouTube video so the fans can find it easy.
Awesome. Okay, good.
We'll make it easy for you.
Yes, thank you. I know.
No
I'm
problem,
like,
no
I should
problem.
know these things, but I
No,
don't.
that's okay. That's okay. Well, awesome. So you have some. You see, you have the autograph signing in the morning.
Yes. At
Anything
9
else?
a.m.
Anything else going on tonight, or you get a little free time?
I get some free time finally. I mean, I used my 1 free hour to obviously buy everything in the dealer's hall, and like
see that.
I changed immediately into all the things I bought. Like, look at me, I bought everything, and the guy was like, "This is so cool. You're a guest, and you're buying all my stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever. I'm just like a fan, also." So
That's awesome. Though.
Yeah.
So I wonder if anybody's gonna recognize you if you walk around.
They have
they?
actually. Yeah, I think because I had opening ceremonies, which I don't
yeah.
do. Like a lot of times, I haven't had them at conventions. I don't know. I just haven't done them.
Right.
But this time, I went on stage and was like, "Hello, this is what I look like." So I've had a lot of people recognize me, even after I like changed into this. They're like, "Oh, is that you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, hi, I'm in like an Alice dress now." And they're all like, "Oh, are you cosplaying as like Alice Madness?" And I'm like, "I thought about that as like accidentally, so sure, why
whatever.
not? Yeah." Except I'm also wearing all these other things that she doesn't wear, but she's just Alice Madness is like a fan also, clearly.
Right.
So she's just decked out. But yeah, so that's the last thing I have tomorrow. I think I might go to the dance tonight, but I don't really dance. I'm pretty awkward. So
Whatever.
I'm like, my dance moves are like I just like move in one place with like 2 fingers in the air, like wee.
That's when you go back to the dealer's hall, grab a mask, throw it on, and then just
Ooh,
go
that's
crazy.
a good idea. That would be fun.
Nobody know who you are at all. and
That's
you're going to be
true.
Crazy.
That's true. I could do that. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing for the rest of the day. I think I might be exploring some of the town around here. I've never been to
Nice.
Kentucky, so I kind
well.
of want to see the area a little bit before I
Well,
leave.
good.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day out too, so it's a good day to do
It
some
looks
little
awesome.
exploring.
Oh, I also heard they're playing Quidditch today, and I
I
am
heard
huge.
that
I have
too,
my
yeah.
time turner on,
Yeah.
so I want to be like, "Hold on, throw the quaffle backwards, because I'm turning back time now." And then they'll be like, "Go away, get out of here, you're ruining our game." I'm like, okay.
So awesome.
So-
Erika, thank you so much for being a part of our podcast today and
Thank
for taking the
you.
time out to do this.
That's so
'cause
fun.
It was fun. We
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. I had a great time. I love doing these, and you guys were awesome.
Well,
so-
thank you. Appreciate
Yeah.
that. It wasn't too bad, right?
No, that was fun. It was easy. It was just like a panel, but like with just a couple people, so it was great.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go. Awesome. Well, we'll get this uploaded and we'll maybe shoot you an email, let you know when it's up. So we'll put it out on Twitter and stuff like that too. So you can find it and you can maybe send that on to your fans.
Yes, I
Check it
will.
out as
We
well.
should probably do
Will
more
do.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter all the time.
Twitter's like I always
You
tell
should
people.
do more Twitter.
Yeah, I should do more Twitter.
Yeah, I'm like, if you want to get a hold of me, you really have to tweet me, and then be like, "Hey, reply to me."
We started following you, so Skate Pod
Okay.
or David Anthony. You see either one of those, and you
Okay,
should, then
cool.
you'd be like, yeah, there we go.
I'll be like,
That's
"That was
cool.
them," and I'll follow you back.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you so much.
All right, Tony.
Yeah.
We are out of
I'm
here.
going downstairs and watching more cool ass kids in cool costumes.
There's some really cool ones in there.
Yeah.
It really is. All right. Well, I'm David Anthony.
I'm Tony Brown still.
Thanks for being on a Skate Pod.
Bye.